All right, let's dive in. We're taking a deep dive today into the world of Niva Bupa health insurance.
Niva Bupa.
You've given us a stack of documents, a real treasure trove.
Yeah.
Including pieces of their Draft Red Herring Prospectus.
The DRHP.
It's like a company's super detailed resume
Yeah.
before they go public.
Yeah. Yeah. Like peeking behind the curtain.
Yeah.
To see how they operate.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to do today. We'll unpack their business model, their financials, their growth plans.
And even their regulatory compliance.
To help you understand what makes this company tick.
We'll also take a look at the management team. Their experience can tell you a lot about a company's future direction.
Right. Okay, let's jump in. First up, their business model. Right off the bat, it's clear. Niva Bupa is laser focused.
Laser focused.
On the retail health insurance market in India. Think individual and family plans.
That's a smart move, I think.
Yeah.
The retail segment, often seen as more profitable, higher premiums, better renewal rates compared to group insurance.
Right. Like they've zeroed in on a real sweet spot in the market. But what I find really interesting is this
What's that?
digital first approach. I mean, they're not just dipping their toes in the digital pool. They've practically built their whole business around it.
It's true. A staggering, and I did check this, 99.95% of their new policies are applied for digitally.
Wow.
That's commitment to tech-driven solutions for sure.
That's wild. But they're not, completely abandoning traditional channels.
Right. Yeah.
Their distribution network, it's actually quite diverse.
Absolutely. While they are heavily invested in digital, they still have a significant network of individual agents. They're partnering with banks.
The bank insurance.
Yeah, bank insurance, exactly. Web aggregators, and even point-of salespersons who are authorized to sell specific types of insurance.
So they're playing the field. Reaching potential customers through all these avenues is like they're weaving this wide net. But each thread is strategically placed. Now, while attracting new customers is obviously key, keeping them is just as important. What can you tell us about their customer retention?
Well, they boast a retention ratio of nearly 79%.
Almost 80%.
Yeah.
Wow.
In fiscal 2024, which is pretty impressive. It's such a competitive market.
Yeah.
So it seems they're doing something right.
Keeping those customers happy, coming back for more.
That's right.
All right, so they're attracting customers, holding on to them. But let's talk money.
Let's talk money.
How are they actually performing financially?
This is where it gets interesting. Their gross written premium, or GWP, has been on a, incredible growth trajectory.
Hold on. Back up a sec. For those of us who don't speak, fluent finance.
Right.
What exactly is gross written premium?
Sure. So think of it as the total premium income they've collected from all their policyholders, essentially. It's their top line revenue. And for Niva Bupa, that number has been skyrocketing.
Okay, so they're bringing in a lot of cash. But the real question is, how much are they paying out in claims?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And that's where the claims ratio comes in.
Claims ratio.
It's the percentage of premiums they end up paying out in claims. So think of it this way. For every, let's say, 100 they collect in premiums, they pay out, say, 60 in claims. So the lower this ratio, the more profitable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
They are.
So where does Niva Bupa stand?
Well, they've been maintaining a pretty competitive claims ratio, hovering around that 60% mark.
Okay. So they're keeping it relatively low.
Yeah.
Which is good. But managing claims effectively
Yes.
is, I imagine, key to staying profitable.
Absolutely.
How are they keeping those ratios in check?
Technology plays a big role.
Tech again.
Yeah. They're leveraging AI-driven systems
Okay.
for claims adjudication. That's deciding whether a claim is valid or not. And for fraud detection. So think algorithms, analyzing claims, flagging anything suspicious, and streamlining the whole approval process.
So they're not just using tech to attract customers.
Right.
They're also using it to manage the back-end operations.
That's right.
And keep those claims ratios healthy.
Exactly.
Impressive. And their investment in technology doesn't stop there.
Yeah.
We can see from their financials that their IT expenses have been steadily rising as a percentage of their operating costs.
Yeah.
That's a pretty clear signal
Right.
that they see tech as a key driver of future growth and efficiency.
It's a big bet on the future.
It is. It is. So they're not afraid to spend on tech, seeing it as a long-term investment. All right. Let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
You mentioned growth. What are their plans for expanding their reach?
They're ambitious. They're aiming to expand significantly, particularly in what are called Tier 2 plus cities in India.
Tier 2 plus spots.
Yeah, so those with populations under 2 million.
Okay.
This indicates they see a huge opportunity in bringing health insurance to a wider audience beyond the major metropolitan areas.
It's a smart move. Yeah. Tapping into those, less saturated markets could be a significant growth driver for them. But it's not just about geographic expansion.
No.
Are they also planning to diversify their insurance offering?
Oh, absolutely. They are actively developing new and innovative insurance products to meet the evolving needs of their customers.
Interesting. So, like, what kind of new products are we talking about?
Well, we can see hints of this in their Draft Red Herring Prospectus, but they are keeping the specifics under wraps for now.
Okay. All right. They're keeping it a secret for now.
Yeah.
A little teaser.
A little mystery.
Yeah. It's intriguing. They're clearly not content to just, rest on their laurels. They're actively seeking ways to grow and innovate. But let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Okay.
Regulations.
Regulations.
The Indian insurance sector. It's known for being pretty tightly regulated.
Pretty tightly regulated.
The Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India, or IRDAI for short. They keep a close eye on everything.
Oh, yeah.
So Niva Bupa needs to constantly ensure they're in line with all the rules and regulations.
Right. Absolutely.
From obtaining the right licenses and approvals to maintaining sufficient solvency margins and protecting customer data. It's a lot to juggle.
It's a complex landscape.
It is. It is. It's like walking a tightrope. One wrong step.
Yeah. You don't want to fall off that tightrope.
No.
But from what we can see in their DRHP, they seem to have a solid track record of regulatory compliance. They highlight their efforts to stay on top of all the requirements, which is the good sign for investors, of course.
Yeah. Okay. So they're playing by the rules.
They're playing by the rules.
Which is critical in such a regulated industry. But before we move on, I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier, the management team.
Yeah.
Why is it so important to understand who's steering the ship?
Well, a company's leadership can make or break it, right? The experience and track record of those key executives can give us valuable insights into their decision-making, their risk appetite, and their overall vision for the company. The DRHP typically provides some details about the background and expertise of the management team, which can be really crucial for assessing their ability to lead Niva Bupa through this next phase of growth.
Okay, so it's like looking at the captain's log to get a sense of where the ship is headed.
Exactly.
So they've got this solid business model, strong financials, ambitious growth plans, commitment to regulatory compliance, and a seasoned leadership team.
Yeah.
Sounds like they've got all the pieces in place for success.
Yeah, they certainly seem well positioned. But, and there's always a but.
There it is.
It is important to take a step back and consider the bigger picture. What are the potential risks and challenges they face? How might the competitive landscape evolve? And perhaps most importantly, what does all of this mean for you, the listener?
Ooh, good questions. And that's exactly what we'll be exploring in the next part of our deep dive. So stick around as we continue to unpack the fascinating world of Niva Bupa Health Insurance.
Buckle up.
Okay, we're back, ready to continue our deep dive into Niva Bupa Health Insurance.
Before our break, we were talking about their impressive growth and their tech-focused strategy. But like any company, there are always challenges, potential risks to consider.
No business operates in a vacuum. One thing that stands out to me is their reliance on third-party technologies. While it allows them to be
agile, scale quickly, it does create a vulnerability.
Right. What happens if those relationships go sour?
Or those systems experience glitches.
Exactly. Their entire operation
could be disrupted.
Right.
It's like building a house
on someone else's foundation. You're at their mercy a little bit.
Exactly. And let's not forget the ever-evolving regulatory landscape, the IRDAI, India's insurance watchdog. They keep a tight rein on the industry. Niva Bupa is going to have to stay nimble, adapt to keep pace with all the new compliance requirements.
It's a balancing act.
Sure.
It is. They need to innovate, grow, but also stay on the right side of the regulations.
Absolutely.
Speaking of navigating, tricky situations. How are they handling claim settlements? I mean, that's a critical area for any insurance company.
It is. But their claim settlement ratio is actually quite impressive, over 91%. in fiscal 2024.
91%.
So that indicates they're processing claims efficiently, keeping their customers happy.
That's a pretty strong indicator of customer satisfaction.
It is. It is. And remember, their low claims ratio, consistently under 60%, shows they're managing risk.
Right.
Underwriting profitable policies.
Yeah.
So they're not just growing for the sake of growth. It's strategic and sustainable.
Right. And that brings us back to their leadership team.
Yeah.
The folks at the helm. They seem to have a deep understanding of both the Indian market and the global health insurance landscape.
It's a good mix.
Yeah. And that experience, especially, with Bupa's international expertise, that could be a major asset as they, continue to expand.
For sure. It's like having a seasoned captain navigating through familiar waters.
I like that analogy.
Right. And remember, we talked about their ambitious expansion plans, particularly into those Tier 2 plus cities.
Yeah.
This could be a real game changer, potentially bringing health insurance to millions of people who, didn't have access before.
Huge potential impact.
Right. It's an exciting prospect. If they, successfully penetrate those markets, it could significantly impact healthcare accessibility in India.
Yeah, it's an interesting thought.
It is. But, it's not without its challenge.
Certainly it's not.
Reaching those new customers will require
innovative strategies, localized approaches. So I'm curious, how are they using technology to understand and reach these new customer segments? I mean, we talked about their digital-first approach, but are they doing anything specific to target those Tier 2 plus cities?
Well, from what I've gathered, they're leveraging data analytics to gain deeper insights into customer behavior and preferences. They've even developed an in-house recommendation engine that helps them personalize their offerings.
So it's not just about, having a fancy website or app.
Right.
It's about using data to tailor their products and services to meet the specific needs of different customer groups.
Exactly. And they're going even further. They're utilizing AI. Machine learning to optimize customer interaction. It's like they're building a personalized roadmap for each customer's health insurance journey.
That's fascinating. Really speaks to their, commitment to innovation and customer centricity.
I think so.
But let's not forget about the potential downsides. Right. With increased reliance on data comes the responsibility of safeguarding that data.
Absolutely. Right? Privacy. Security, paramount, especially in the healthcare sector. Any breach of sensitive customer information could be disastrous.
Right.
From a reputational standpoint, but also a regulatory one.
Yeah, absolutely. And the ethical implications of using AI and data analytics in healthcare. I mean, they're complex and constantly evolving.
They are.
Right. So they need to tread carefully.
Yes.
And ensure they're using these technologies responsibly, transparently.
Agreed. It's a delicate balancing act. The one that they can't ignore. The public's trust is paramount, especially when you're dealing with something as personal.
That's health insurance. Okay. So they've got this innovative, tech-driven approach, strong financial track record, seasoned leadership team. They're expanding into new markets, seem committed to regulatory compliance.
Yeah.
But what does it all boil down to? What makes Niva Bupa
truly unique, namely crowded Indian health insurance market? That's the question, isn't it? I think their differentiator lies in their ability to blend that cutting-edge technology with a deep understanding of the Indian healthcare landscape. They're not just replicating models from other countries. They're creating something specific, tailored to the needs and nuances of the Indian market.
Right. They're not just importing solutions. They're innovating from within.
Well, exactly.
Taking a global perspective and adapting it to a local context.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And that's why I believe Niva Bupa is a company worth watching. They're pushing boundaries, challenging conventional thinking, and potentially reshaping the future of health insurance in India.
It's exciting.
I'll see.
At a pivotal moment, poised for significant growth and impact.
Yeah.
But the question remains, will they be able to navigate the complexities of the market, the ever-changing regulatory landscape, and the ethical considerations of using data-driven technologies?
Million-dollar questions. Right. And honestly, the answers remain to be seen. Right. But one thing's for sure, their journey will be fascinating to follow.
Wow, absolutely. And we'll be here to guide you through it. But before we move on to the final part of our deep dive.
Okay.
We want to hear from you, the listener.
Oh, all right.
What are your
Yeah.
initial impressions of Niva Bupa? What stands out to you about their story? Take a moment to reflect on what we've discussed, and we'll come back to your thoughts in just a moment.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground in our deep dive into Niva Bupa.
We have.
Their business model, their impressive financials, their tech-driven approach, and even the regulatory hurdles they face. But now, I think it's time to kind of shift gears a bit. Think about the bigger picture,
Yeah, I think that's crucial. We can get so lost in the weeds,
Right.
the business jargon, the financial figures. But ultimately, this is about
People.
Right. It's about understanding the real-world impact of their, of Niva Bupa's strategies and how those might shape the future of healthcare in India.
That's it. Consider their push into those Tier 2 plus cities, bringing health insurance to populations that have been historically underserved. It's a bold move with the potential to really change the game.
Imagine millions of people gaining access to quality healthcare through insurance for the very first time.
It's powerful.
It is. It is. And it raises all sorts of fascinating questions. Will this increased access lead to better health outcomes? Will it alleviate some of the strain on India's healthcare system?
Good questions.
And how will this impact the competitive landscape? Will other insurers be forced to, up their game or risk falling behind?
Right.
These are all questions we'll be watching closely.
Yeah.
But one thing's clear. Niva Bupa is
at the forefront of a potential healthcare revolution in India.
Yeah, I think so.
It's like
they're throwing a stone into a pond. And the ripples are spreading outward, touching everything from individual lives to the entire healthcare ecosystem.
I like that.
Yeah. And their success or failure
could have
far-reaching consequences.
Which brings us back to you, the listener.
We've armed you with, hopefully a solid understanding of Niva Bupa. But now it's time to dig deeper, draw your own conclusions.
That's right.
Perhaps you're an investor considering adding them to your portfolio. Or maybe you work in healthcare and you're curious about the impact of InsurTech on your field.
Right. Or maybe you're just someone who cares about the future of healthcare in India.
Yeah.
And you want to stay informed.
Exactly. Whatever your perspective, we hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity, given you a framework for understanding this dynamic company.
Great company to watch.
It is. It is. We've explored their inner workings, their ambitions, and the potential challenges they face. But now, we want to leave you with just one final thought-provoking question. Given their digital-first strategy, their ambitious expansion plans, and their, unwavering commitment to innovation, how might Niva Bupa shape the future of health insurance in India? Will they truly revolutionize the industry, making healthcare more accessible, affordable, and equitable for all Indians? Only time will tell. But the journey is sure to be fascinating. And remember, this is just the beginning of your exploration. Keep digging, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep.
That's right. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.